Hi kids, welcome to Terry on Tuesday. It's currently Saturday morning, see, I do know what day it is, and we're out here in the kitchen of creation on a lovely sunny day, although it's freezing cold outside again, to do more work on Marvin. So, what have I been doing? Well, I've just been out the back and I've cut Marvin's body into two halves, and you'll also notice that when I put it back together, apart from the fact that I can't cut straight, doesn't matter, these cuts at the top are off centre, so they're moved back an inch. They're not dead centre, and I'll tell you for why. Because at the centre, this is the back, okay? So this is the back. So I've given them an extra inch. Can you see there? An extra inch past the halfway point, because there I want to drill and mount a thumb screw, which is basically a hand tightened bolt, which will go through the turntable for the neck and bolt the head on so it won't actually fall off. So that's my thinking behind that. Now, this is the front half, again, a wee bit shorter now, but it doesn't matter. The problem is, well, it's not a problem, it's just a bit of a shame. The people who made this, Euro planters by the way, did such a stunning job in sanding it, and it's a lovely kind of metallic silver. None of this silver, apart from maybe a tiny bit in the middle here, will be seen, because I've got to cover the front and back and most of the sides in metal plates and plastic and everything, so you'll never see what a lovely job they've done on that. But still, it's way lighter and it's in one piece, and it's a very nice piece indeed. Better than the MDF one I made about 2 years ago. Anyway, so the plan is to have a look. I've got a feeling I might have to cut bigger armholes, which is not a problem. The head is absolutely perfect, but the more room I can have to fit the arms, the better. One thing I did notice, which was a wee bit annoying this late in the game, is on the real thing, Marvin's armholes reach the front and the top. They're right up here. So they're way bigger than the turntables that I've got. Now I'm not going to go round the houses and reprint new arm pieces, new circular mounts or anything like that. But if I show you a picture I've got, I thought I'd go old school and print out some bits of paper. But you can see that the turntable that the arm is on reaches the very front of the box and the top of the box. An even better pic will be this currently unnamed chap testing it on. It's not Jim Francis and it's not David Lerner, but you can see he's got his arms through there and the turntable reaches the sides and the top. Now the one way I could do that is to cut a bit more off the middle to make the front and back narrower, but I ain't gonna do that, and I'll tell you for why. Because if I make that narrower, it'll make the head hole narrower, which I'll have to cut as well. Also, it'll give me less room inside, and I'm a slightly portly chap. I'm not as svelte, as we say, as a young David Lerner. Hi David, if you're watching. And I think the truth is, looking at this picture, Marvin is wider at the front than he is at the sides. But this is going to be a dead square. Not a problem. Obviously, I'm not going for 1,000,000% accuracy. So yeah, I could make him a little bit narrower, but I'm not going to bother. So anyway, it's going to be a dead square. The arms will have a little bit of a gap here, but that's not a problem. So let me show you what I plan to do with the torso. Put them down like that. Let's do it like that. So let's do it like that. Then, sorry about that. Right then, okay. We have bits and bobs. Firstly, the vac form plates to go on the front and back, made by Baz Lorimer. Thanks Baz. Was it Baz? I think it was Baz. I'm pretty sure. Just reminding myself it was 495 by 350. I like to mark measurements on things. Now, if I've done this right, I remember I did slice off a bit off the bottom of Marvin's box, the body there, the bottom half, and that should fit on the top like this. This is where it all goes pear-shaped. Yeah, that's pretty good. I need to trim the edges off, obviously, but that goes on there. all the way around. Do you know what? I got a feeling, no, that's pretty good. I could probably take a little bit more off the bottom of this edge of this box. I might just use the Dremel just to take a few millimeters off. But basically that goes on there. Is this the front? This is the front. And as you can see in said picture, the chest unit with all its wires and gubbins goes on here. So I need to cut holes in here to let the wires and the battery and everything through, and also cut holes in the fiberglass box, which actually makes the fiberglass box a little bit lighter. And there's nothing actually stopping me from cutting some more holes in the rest of the body behind here to let air in, make it lighter. But we'll see how we go. I'm not going to go crazy and turn it into a piece of Swiss cheese back there. But I do need to mark out where this chest unit is going. According to the photo, it's right to the top. It's just about there, which is cool, and also dead center. So let's mark out where we're going to put the chest unit first. I think my plan is, because there's a lot of gap between this and the flat surface, once I'm all sorted, I think I'll get some expanding foam in there, which will help fill the gap, so then there's no, if this gets pressed on or hit against anything, it's probably not going to split or buckle or whatever. So here we go. Can you see that? I hope you can. Right. If not, just look closer. Yeah, so dead center. What we got here? 340 exactly. Excellent. Half of 340 is 134, 15, 17, isn't it? So yeah, 170 there. I'll do the same here. 170 there. How tall is this thing? It's about 280. Nope, need a bit more. Right. 17 there. Draw a line. I'm left-handed, sorry, I have to do it this way. Yay. Okay, got our centre line. Show you about all this, but it has to be done. So let's have a quick look how high up it goes. I think about there. I need to find the halfway point of this, don't I? Oh, exactly 160. So half of that is what? That's right, 160. So 80 millimeters there. Do the same on the bottom. So line up the marks with here and here, top and bottom, and it should be level. Right, okay, wires are in the way. Okay, so that goes on there. You line up exactly there. I'm actually even going to draw around it, just so I've got a visual of what hole to cut. Corners, 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 corners. Okay, so I've got my shape. Thankfully, all the LEDs and stuff in the top here don't protrude out. It's just the actual cable itself, so that can pop out there. But if I obviously cut within my shape, we've got plenty of room all the way around to glue. Do I glue this on or bolt it on? Well, considering this is going to be glued to the fiberglass, I might be able to find a way of bolting this on, but once it's on, I can't actually take it off because I can't have visible bolts in the front unless I fit some kind of screw in the middle there. But see, these are all the million things you have to consider when you're making something, especially when you're like me, and a complete cowboy, and you're doing it on the fly. And yeah, so I'm going to give myself plenty of room within the box. And do you know how much room we got at the bottom? Quite a bit. I'm only going to take that off there. And how much we got at the top? 3/4 of an inch. It should be a metric, shouldn't I? It's weird because when I left school, I was all about the metric system, and then I got a job for a number of years, about five years, in a place that did hospital furniture, and they were very old school there, so everything was inches, so I learned how to use inches. So Americans, weirdly enough, are still stuck in the imperial system, which is British, by the way, hence the name imperial. So they'll understand when I say 3/4 of an inch, but I should say something like, what's 3/4 of an inch? I can't convert instantly. I know 25.4 centimetres is an inch. 3/4 of an inch is about 20 mil. I should stick with millimetres. It is more accurate. I kid you not. I don't want to get into eighths and sixteenths and that, although I can use those methods if I want. Now, how do we cut this out? Well, I do have a nice pair of Lexan scissors. They're called Lexan scissors for cutting Lexan. They got a slightly curved tip on them, as you can see there. But we use these for cutting stormtrooper armour, which is usually vac formed stuff, a bit like this. Although this is not ABS, this is HIPS, high impact polystyrene. So it's a lot softer, a lot weaker than ABS. But I still can't cut through it just yet. I need to cut a hole. Do I have a scalpel or something? No, I'll go get one. Oh, you may wonder what these are for. I salvaged these from next door. The pub next door was having some cladding done, and these were all in the bin. Long lengths of this. It's nice plastic angle, which has got holes in it for putting plaster through it, and it sticks it to the corners of things like, can you see that? Corners of stuff like that, you know, when you're cladding stuff. But what this is going to do, I've already cut them to length. On the fiberglass box, at the bottom edge, I'm going to put this all the way around the edges, all four edges, like so. So, you see that? So that will give us a nice bit of purchase, because we don't have much thickness here. That'll give us a nice surface with which to connect the skirt section, which is an absolute nightmare to do. But we'll get to the skirt section at some point. But now I've got my four lengths of angle plastic. I was going to use aluminium, which is just as light, but probably won't stick as well. This is actually super lightweight. It's lighter than aluminium, obviously. It's got so many holes in it, so it weighs practically zilch, but the holes will help the, I'm using fiberglass to stick through this, to glue it to the fiberglass box, and that'll stick brilliantly. So occasionally I do things sensibly, only occasionally. So I have my scalpel. Let's see if we can just cut. Do you know what? I might be able to do this all by hand, because it doesn't have to be the most perfect rectangle in the world. I know some people out there would be doing perfection. Like I say, this year is all about progress, not perfection. If I've learned anything, you can drive yourself mad with perfection and never achieve it, or you can proceed. You can make progress. So there's something to think about. You know, it's not half-arsing it. Well, do you know what? It is half-arsing it, to be honest. But another fable I shall tell you is when I did my first ever stormtrooping gig in around 2008 at Birmingham NEC, after months of getting my stormtrooper suit as accurately as possible, the right screws, the right shades of colour, the right trimming, everything you can think of, you know, screen accurate, everything. A little boy pointed at me and my fellow stormtroopers and said to his dad, "Daddy, what are they?" And he said, "Daleks." So there you go. It's proof that the majority of Joe Public don't really care how much your attention to detail. And I know you might say, yes, but the people who like Marvin or Stormtroopers or whoever, they'll know. well then they should know how hard it is to do. And also, ain't nobody got no time for that. Just to let you know, Marvin, the whole point of making Marvin, really, apart from childhood desire and fantasy and dreams, never thought I'd do this when I was a kid, let alone meet David Lerner, which is also a massive honour. The main reason for Marvin is to appear at the Cardiff International Tattoo Con, which is coming up at the end of, I'm going to say July, but if it's wrong, something will pop up under there saying the right date. But it's the last 2 days of July. That'll be in Cardiff, and obviously, hence the name, and David Lerner himself will be in attendance. I'll be hosting for both days. A tattoo con is a weird thing. If you've never been to one, or you've never been to the Cardiff one, it's more like a comic con. I mean, there are tattooists. There are lots of tattooists, right? There are over 200 artists there, so there's a massive constant buzzing in the main hall of tattoos being done. But once you get used to that, you go for a walk round and there's merchandise, artists, art you can buy, framed art, drawn art, sculptures, stuffed animals, skulls if you want to buy skulls, tattoo supplies, piercing stuff, you can get pierced there, you can, all that kind of stuff, body mods as they call it. And yes, the crowd is the sort of person who would like to have lots of tattoos. But surprisingly, it's a family event. There's nothing too disgusting and, or scary or whatever. Obviously there are people being tattooed, so if that goes through you a little bit, don't bring the little ones or whatever, or don't look. But it is a really good fun and it's a really nice crowd. I was a little bit trepidatious about doing the hosting as Jack Sparrow 8 or 9 years ago. Well, probably 10 years by now. But everyone enjoyed it and they were nice enough to accept me as myself and not Jack Sparrow once I decided I was retiring the Jack Sparrow persona. So I'm still hosting the show. I will be as Marvin for a couple of hours. I can't wear it all day, obviously. That would be insanity. And I will have a nice suit on. This year's theme is cosmic. It was a theme from 3 years ago, but obviously we got cancelled and locked down and everything. But if it goes ahead this year, which I'm pretty sure it will, the theme will still be cosmic. So I'm going to have a suit with all like stars and planets and galaxies on when I'm not wearing Marvin. I will wear Marvin as much as I can, obviously, because people would like to see him. But the disclaimer is, if I don't get Marvin finished in time, and let's face it, I've had 3 or 4 years and I'm still rubbish. If I don't get Marvin finished in time, or there are technical problems like he's difficult to walk in, or he doesn't fit right, or he's too painful to wear and it needs tweaking, then I'll just have to host as myself and leave Marvin's on display or something. But the plan is to try and get it completely functional, and so far it seems to be alright. But best laid plans of mice. Look at that, that's good. That corner not great. Still not great, but what we'll do is just trim him off. When you score and snap, the edges are a little sharp because it's a clean break. So the easiest thing is to get a little bit of sanding block and sand all the way around, or if you're old school like me, use the scalpel at 45 degrees. It doesn't go through you, but it just takes the sharp edge off the plastic, and instead of being dusty, it makes those nice little pencil shaving curly bits. I'll just do the outside. I've made about 5 or 6 stormtrooper suits in my day, only with a scalpel. No drill, no sandpaper, just scrape the edges off like that, dead smooth. Drill by doing that. But to be honest, since I started buying tools, you know, proper manly tools, ladies, I do admit it's better to have the right tool for the job than half-arse it. I like half-arsing it. Nobody wants to see the full arse. Anyway, that is reasonably sharp edge free now. I mean, once the chest unit's glued in, the edges won't be reachable at all. Anyway, so we got a hole, we got our chest unit, put it the right way up. By the way, this chest unit is this is 3D printed, obviously. Who did this for me? Gavin Smith, I think. Thanks, Gavin. If it wasn't Gavin Smith, I apologise. It was one of the many other people who helped. Painted by Paul Beauchamp. And electronics by Yoss. Thanks, Yoss. This is based on a hard-to-find piece of hardware that appeared in many movies. If you watch Alien, the first one, you'll see a lot of these on the walls next to doors for getting in and out. I don't know if they're some sort of sound mixer or cassette deck or whatever, but they were used in Flash Gordon, Aliens, Red Dwarf, a number of different things. That's going to go on there. Lovely jubbly. Look at that. So then all I need to do is mark out the access hole again for the fiberglass, because the batteries and stuff will go inside the body. Now you could ask, why don't I just leave the batteries hanging down here in between the fiberglass and the thing, because once this is glued onto the fiberglass I can't get to it. And obviously I want to put some expanding foam in, I think, especially at the bottom half anyway. So yeah, that's good. I'm not going to glue this on here because obviously I've got to spray this. This is going to be sprayed silver to match the rest of the Marvin. But for now, what I'm going to do, where's the front? Here's the front. Look at that there. I'll put it upside down so it kind of leans towards you. Alright, goes on there, front and top. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to do a rough mark with a Sharpie. Okay. So now I've got me I'm not going to cut this entire square. I mean, I could, again, the more fiberglass I take off this, the lighter it gets. All the battery and stuff will be fixed somewhere in here with Velcro and maybe even some sort of plastic bag that's taped to the inside, just so everything sits in a bag. Obviously my chest is going to be here, so I've got to put it to one side, make it a bit more comfortable, etc. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
Okay, progress pics. Put some screws in, cut little keyholes, which the chest unit can register onto. Fits really nicely, and that's kind of where it is right now.
This, I know it's only been one angle, unfortunately, and I'll try and do some zooms, obviously, and put some facts and figures and pictures and stuff up. But I hope you found that reasonably interesting. It's just me sitting here waffling and making stuff. But I'd rather do a video like this where I'm actually forced to get on with it and make the blooming thing than do another video just talking to camera and not doing anything. So anyway, that's been Marvin for this week. Thank you for watching. As everyone says, like and subscribe, because that really helps if you give me a thumbs up and all that on the video. Subscribe button is there somewhere, and like the thumbs up is there as well, and that would really help. So thanks for watching. Feel free to leave comments, that'd be great. I like it when I get comments. I reply to all the comments, so thank you for the 3 or 4 people who regularly watch and comment, which is great. Much appreciated. And I will see you all next Tuesday. Yes, C-U-A-N-D. Steady. So take care now. Bye bye then.